Let's have a look at our next game now. It is a cracking game. North Melbourne take on Port Adelaide. Our coverage from 2 p.m. from Blundstone Arena, and the odds $1.35 for the Roos, $3.20 for a team that hasn't lost yet. 19.5 points is the margin. Outs, Anthony omitted. Will Sirikowski, the ex-Hawthorn player, comes in, and Hawley, you've got the team.
Yeah, look, 1 of 4 probably doesn't reflect where they're at the moment. They're going a lot better than that. I'm going to go show some vision a bit later on the teams they've played. 1, 3, 4 and 5 positions last year, so they've had a tough run home, toughest start of any side, I reckon. They're a really good clearance side, the Roos. They beat Hawthorn by 22 last week, so they absolutely smacked them.
They were so good.
The last 3 games have been the most effective side by foot and by hand, but they're still not winning games. Most of the stats they've been pretty good at, but they're just lacking a little bit of polish. They're lacking that finishing, critical time. They're really lacking all that polish they need.
Coupled with the fact that they have not played bunnies either. They've been playing the absolute cream of the competition. One kid who looks like he could become cream of the competition as well is Aaron Black, Parker. This lad can play footy.
He captured me. He's got a wonderful athleticism, and for his size, terrific skill, but he's got some real grunt in his effort in the contest and to make an impact. I think this kid has got the potential to be the key forward for that team. I mean, taking over from Petrie, better than his mate Hansen, I reckon that this boy probably holds their front half in his hands.
I tend to agree. I mean, he's going to play some bad games along the way, whether he gets dropped or not. We hope he doesn't, but they're going to go through peaks and troughs. But what we saw from a young player, the way he moved his body, the way he thought his way through the game, I reckon that was a great effort by him. Let's have a look at the Port Adelaide ins and outs now, and coming up on the screen in a second. Out. Hinkley, the coach. Trengo foot, that's a big loss for them there. And Richo, good on you, Richo. He gets a crack at it at the top level. And Mitchell comes in as well. Let's have a look, Parko, at the Port Adelaide
Just
team.
on that point, if anybody is deserved, I mean, he's been to 4 or 5 clubs, and people who don't know, he's made a magnificent impact in each of those clubs.
No doubt.
He really has, and to be given the opportunity, I hope for his sake that they play to their potential and don't leave him stranded. Look, the accolades continue. I must admit, I got to the point when they were 41 points down and thought this is all over. To actually get back to West Coast was a phenomenal performance it says a lot for their confidence and their fitness. Their skill level's definitely on the improve. I reckon decision-making's got better, foot disposal's got better, and so has the hands. And the leadership, which has been questionable, is suddenly starting to bubble up. We've said over the last couple of years, this team lacks leadership of any kind. But, Hartlett, Bowick, Corns, Cassisi are all doing their bit, and they found one terrific player. Watched this bloke closely last week. Ollie Vines under pressure. He's a real cool customer, and I reckon he's got a long career ahead.
He's a ripper, isn't he? He's
Really.
Remember the days when we had open lists of 50-plus players? He's one who'd come in, and even with 50, 60 players on your list, he's playing ones as a 17, 18-year-old. He's ready-made for it. Also, Trengo, for those who have him in their team in the fantasy football leagues, he's on the long-term injury list. You might want to swap him out. Kane Mitchell gets stepped up from the elevated from the rookie list there. All right, let's have a look at the Vero performance indicators, and we're going to talk about these two teams. One team is 1 win, 4 losses. The other is 5 wins. We have a look at round 1. But North Melbourne on the left-hand side of screen, these are their opponents through the round. Played Collingwood, they lost. And Port Adelaide on the right played Melbourne, they won. Another win to Port Adelaide on the right against GWS. They're 18th. The Kangaroos lose to Geelong on the left. Next week, the Kangaroos lose to Sydney, grand final. The Premiers on the left, and the team in the 10th position, that's who Port beat on the right. So they've had 3 really tough games, and Port have had 3 really easy ones. We're going to round 4 now. The Lions, North Melbourne, notched up their first win against the Lions, who are in 12th position. Port Adelaide beat the 11th positioned Gold Coast Suns. We go on to last week, and North Melbourne lose to last year's grand finalists in 4th position, Hawthorn. How they lost it, I don't know. And Port Adelaide beat the 15th position, West Coast. So you could argue the point, even though the one team's 1 win, 4 losses, the other's 5 straight wins, the quality of the opposition here dictates that it probably will go a certain way, which is the way that the bookies are seeing it and the way that I know I am, Sam. I'm going for North Melbourne. How are you looking
Oh,
at it?
no doubt. 4 of the top 8 sides North have played in the first 5 weeks. I think North, no doubt.
They went under down there last year, didn't they, at West Coast in the last sort of kick of the day. It's supposed to be their home ground advantage. I don't think the ground suits them all that much, to be truthful, but they'll certainly beat Port.
Okay.
Scary thing for North, they're still learning against good sides. So they're all those little critical things I'm talking about, they're learning right now. So I reckon they'll be cherry ripe by about halfway point of the year. They're going to scare some sides later in the year.
Beautiful. All right, guys, if you haven't already downloaded the